1 2 1 2. Quick check. Can you see my browser? Okay, brilliant. So it looks like that the buying pressure on gold is still intact, untouched. Market is still, grinding higher and higher. Entered on a buy position at the little bit higher than the daily pivot. So I'm curious to see what USGDP is going to bring us. And welcome back, everyone. Today is 25th of September. We are 33 minutes away from US GDP. Let's see. Okay. So as you can see on TradingView, price is now at 37.52. We had a nice bounce back up from the daily pivot. Unfortunately, I did enter a little bit late when I saw that the pivot literally kicked back price close to the previous price level, but price started dropping. Today is really 50-50 what's going to happen, and I'm waiting for the US GDP, which is the final revision for the second quarter. Yeah, there you go. Second quarter GDP. Of course, we have the usual jobless claims, initial and continuing, which I explained many times in the past few months that I do pay attention to jobless claims, but I don't think it's going to change. It's going to make any big difference unless we have a very, very big diversion from the forecast and the standard deviation. Other than that, we have nothing. That's it. We have durable goods order. That's also important. After that, a few central banker speeches. Of course, on Monday, Powell came out, gave his remarks on FOMC, and he reiterated that the Fed is in no rush to further cut interest rates, which was quite, there was a temporary setback on gold prices. If you look at the chart, resulted in a 630 pip drop, but gold managed to recover almost 60% of that drop, and now price is gravitating above the daily pivot. Of course, there's two options today. Either what we see on the screen right now is a bear flag, so price should continue lower back to 3700, may continue lower, or the other scenario is that we have a bounce back up from the daily pivot, and that would push back gold to the previous all-time high. What is it going to be? Hello, Yanar. That's okay. Apology accepted. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah. Just waiting for US GDP to come out. Yeah, it started dropping again. After creating a new all-time high. US 30 is the same. Actually, I'm gonna lock in profits on US 30 because I lost out already £1,000 since it started dropping. So the only position I have is a long position on gold, and that's it. And we're running in 17 pips profit. Not bad, not bad. For now. Why am I so sleepy? Oh, God. Who? Who's the company? First Brands linked entity. Ah, okay. Is it a big brand, or is it the company we talked about yesterday? Well, it's a car part supplier. Yeah, but they had several. They had problems before. First Brand. Okay, I'm gonna get some water. Okay, got my sugar fix. Bit of sweets. Pöttyös turorudi. It's something called turorudi. It's a Hungarian. It's actually cottage cheese in chocolate, and many people think it's weird, but it's one of the best things in the world. It's a sweet. It's like a cheesecake in chocolate. No, absolutely not. This is anything but healthy. It's called Balanced Lifestyle. I've been to the gym 7 a.m. this morning, and I'm eating the chocolate. Yeah. And I'm not falling asleep. Why am I so sleepy? I don't know. It's proper autumn here in Pipland. Raining 1 or 2 hours a day, cloudy, miserable. But it's nice and cold. Yeah. I can't you know, those people who live in the northern side of the earth, like Scandinavian countries, where you have pretty much shit weather most of the year, like really grey sky. I hate that. When I lived in London, I hated the weather. It was miserable all the time. Really? Wow. Now that's the other extreme I don't want. Typical Scandinavian. I would be absolutely happy all year long with a temperature between 20 and 26% sunny weather. I think that's the best, when you can either buy or wear shorts and flip-flops, or wear jeans with a small coat, a jacket. So it's not too warm, not too cold. I mean, we used to have proper 4 seasons in Europe, but I think 10 years ago something has changed. Most of the countries don't have snow anymore. I remember when I was a child, post-Soviet era, in the early 90s, we always had like a good meter of snow every winter. In December, we always had White Christmas. Yeah, we still have White Christmas, but in a different form. But it's not so. Yeah, yeah. January, February, we always have a little bit of snow. But when I was a kid, we always had good meter of snow, and I used to hate shoveling snow because we lived. Our house was on the corner, so I had to shovel 2 sides of the house on the street because it's mandatory that you shovel your snow in front of your house, and that was the worst because I had to do the job twice. Yep. Yep. That's how I got so muscly and, good looking. Furyman, confirmation for sell. We have bought, but for buy, I don't think so. Mate, I'm going with price action. Pretty much every day of the week now. There's not many data. There's not many fundamentals. So I'm going to rely on the good old price action. MicroStrategy US. I wonder if cold weather is actually beneficial. Yeah. I think it has. But the same as cold weather and hot weather, they both have different. They have both benefits. I mean, hot weather is because of the sun and vitamin D. Cold weather, it's also good. Okay, we got 16 minutes until the US GDP, which is the final revision for second quarter of 2025. Let me just lower the volume a little bit so you can hear my smoothing, sexy voice. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Today is 25th of September, Thursday. If you look at the economic calendar, you can see that we have the usual continuing and initial jobless claims, along with a half a dozen of central banker speeches from the US. And we also have the US GDP final revision for Q2, which is the second quarter of 2025. The forecast is set to be inflationary, around 3.3% quarter on quarter. I think the year on year, is the year on year? There must be year on year. There isn't a year on year. Anyhow, despite the inflationary forecast, I entered into a buy position on gold. And the reason why I entered into a gold buy is because despite the inflationary forecast, I'm expecting gold to have enough support from the buys, whether it's institutional or it's dynamic across the market. I'm expecting a new all-time high soon. Looking at the headlines, because the biggest risk this week has been and will be the headline risk. Headline risk means that, if something breaks the news regarding tariffs or, any relevant news, or maybe commentary from the Fed, or an attack by Jay Powell against the Fed, this is called the headline news. European officials fear Trump is preparing to blame them for Ukraine failure. Yeah, of course, if he's going to always blame someone else. He's not taking responsibility for his actions or failures. Please play sound as you play earlier. Which one do you want? Hello, Dorothy. Good afternoon. How are you? Sleepy. Sleepy. Yeah. Well, I hope it's. Yeah, I would prefer to have a quiet day rather than sitting here for hours. How are you, Dorothy? Where are you now? Still. Oh, that's outrageous. We were just talking about the bad weather, and you come on the stream and say that you. Okay, we in 23 pips of profit. You know what? I'm gonna enter into another trade. I'm gonna enter into another buy on gold. Yep. It's very risky, but based on price action. So today I do kind of trade on fundamentals, but mostly on price action. So this is the very few rare moments when I trade price action instead of fundamentals. And I just entered into another long position. Hello everyone. Hi Alex. How about Mick? In the meantime, I'm just hello Ram. Ram. You always remind me that big fucking truck, Dodge Ram. Do you know that one? It's massive. I have a friend who owns one of those unreasonably huge car. I always say to him, like, are you trying to compensate something? He's kind of short, like 1.70 meters, so a head shorter than me. And yeah, I think he does try to compensate his height. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today is 25th of September, Thursday. We are 8 minutes away from the newest economic calendar release, which is going to be the usual Thursday, continuing initial jobless claims. And also we have something called the GDP, which is the gross domestic product. GDP is still considered an important measure of growth, but as an economist, I hate GDP. Can you guess why I hate GDP? What's the issue? What do you think is the issue with GDP? GDP is a flawed measure of growth. Yeah, it does take into account many things, and it's a good way to measure that how fast and how much countries grow, but it doesn't take into account the ownership of the asset. So, for example, if a country measuring GDP, yeah, there's huge growth because of the companies are there, and they're generating sales, and it's the value is added to every transaction. This is one way to calculate GDP. Because GDP is made up of government spending, consumption, exports, net exports, so exports minus imports, that gives you a net figure. There's also something else, investments, but it doesn't take into account the ownership of the asset. That's a big problem with GDP. And ownership of the asset, for example, there's a company operates in this particular country where they measure GDP, but it's a foreign company. So despite the companies generating huge amounts of profits and turnover and etc., the profit will not stay in the country. The profit will not, most likely won't be reinvested in the country. It will be sent to the country of the company. So it doesn't take into account the ownership of the asset. The second thing is why I hate GDP. It doesn't take into account the happiness of the people. You can have the best GDP in the world, but what if people are miserable because of the living conditions, because of all of these things? So these are the two biggest problems and the most cited across academics and academic literature, why GDP is not the best measure to measure growth. What's your take on this? Do you agree or not? Tricky question, isn't it? Those of you who just joined, I have 2 long positions on gold. I'm waiting for US GDP data, which will be released in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Despite the inflationary forecast that GDP is going to be quarter on quarter 3.3% versus minus 0.5%, I entered into a long position because, well, just look at the price action on gold for the past 4 months. It's been extremely bullish. So I've been saying for quite a few months now that I'm buying the dip every single time. But now market is a little bit overpriced and longs are crowded just below the previous all-time high. So there's really 2 scenarios I can see today. The first one, and let me just hide MetaTrader. The first one is price to continue higher, which it did in the past 4-6 months, 2 years, 3 years. Very nice bullish market structure. So I'm taking every opportunity to buy the dips, which is about 40% chance that price is going to continue higher from the current price level. The daily pivot increases this to, I would say, 50% chance that price is going to revisit the previous all-time high right here, which would give around 350 pips. The second scenario is that price is going to drop back to 3,700. It's not a problem because if the first setup fails, i.e. buying now, which you can see on my live MetaTrader, if the first one fails, I'm going to buy at the second price level, buying the dips. We did have a similar setup a few weeks ago when the first setup, the first entry failed. but then I triple entered at a lower price, and the profit was amazing. So I'm going to continue with this strategy. Of course, there will be stop loss hits. Of course, there will be times when price obeys our analysis and immediately pushes us into a hundreds of pips profit. We don't know what's going to be. What we can do is, what I'm going to continue to do, is pay attention to the headline risk. So headline risk means that, if any news breaks the market related to mostly monetary policy and labor market, these are my main priorities. If any news comes out from the Fed or relevant to labor market, or any data comes out which is relevant to interest rate or the job market or labor market, I'm going to trade those news. Today is US GDP, which is the final revision for the second quarter in 2025. This is well within the Liberation Day or Liberation era, where Trump announced, huge tariffs to pretty much every country in the world for the partners. And despite the inflationary forecast, I'm gonna stick to longs. How did gold react to that news? Well, you can look it up. You have the date, you have the time. You can just go back in time in TradingView. Oh, is it? Oh, time is flying when you have a good company, isn't it? $40 seconds left. 40 seconds left. It's lagging. Of course it's lagging because YouTube has a lag. If you want to join the AlphaFX community to get access to my live signals and positions, and if you want to live trade with me, go to alphafx.eu. I will show you the link, but you can find all the links below the video. And we got 16 seconds to go. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what the data is. Oh, it's coming down. It's going up now. It's moving down fast. Oh, shit, 3.8. That's very inflationary. Jesus Christ. Let's have a look at the indices. The fish, that's a big surprise. GDP sales 7.5%. Whoa, boy, I haven't expected that. I wasn't expecting this. Let's see. Durable goods orders through the roof, 2.9%. Core PC prices, 2.6%. Everything is inflationary. Everything is inflationary. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, I'm pulling out of the buys on gold and pulled out from all the positions, and now entering into a sell position. I hope you see the screen. Just entered into a sell position and entering another sell position. So 2 sell positions, putting the stop loss above the previous high. And based on the inflationary news, the very inflationary news, I'm gonna hold on to the sells. Jesus. Target is just above 3,700. It's very inflationary news. What the fish? I hope it's gonna work out well. So far, I'm down about £700. Oh. Price needs to break through the daily pivot, which is going to be tough. But okay. Almost in profit. Yeah, we are in profit slowly. Very inflationary news. Jesus freaking Christ. Full margin sell activated. GDP sales 7.5%. Goods trade balance still negative, but better than last month. Jobless claim is decreasing. So on two hand, as growth in the US, the economy is resilient, very resilient, and jobless claims is decreasing, which means the labor market is strong as well. And that is an extra reason for the Fed to hold interest rates higher for longer. And that is bad news for gold. But I think it's bad news for indices as well. I'm going to stick to gold for now. Just observe gold. And now back into minus £300. Is it another slow day? Or just the market yet to realize how freaking inflationary was the data? What do you think? Those of you who would like to join the Alpha FX community, if you want to get daily analysis like this, go to alphafx.eu. Okay. And now we are 18 pips profit. Very nice. Get ready for the big drop. It's going to melt all the way to 3,700. I'm going to back 350 pips today. I'm going to make at least £10,000. If price drops to my target to 3,707 and 5, I will be a wealthy man. Alexander Clare, inflationary data means bullish for indices, more Fed cut. Not necessarily. If inflationary, they're going to hold the interest rate. So there's the opposite of an interest rate cut. Apologies, a random channel. You're absolutely right. Gold is dropping. Yep, I'm expecting a big drop. Bad inflationary news. Well, it's not bad because the economy is booming. The US is strong. But look at that. It's slowly coming down. Now it's running at 60 pips profit. Okay, 87 pips profit, 90 pips, 100 pips profit, and it keeps counting. Now it's up to £2,000, 1,800, 110 pips of profit, 110, 120. Come on, there you go, 120 pips profit. Very nice. Keep on going. Tonight we're eating steak. Family's gonna get a hot meal as well. Finally, after long weeks of starving. There you go, 130 pips. Mr. Attitude, is any way the data is manipulated, releasing the data that they want? the only data I trust is what I forge. There you go, 150 pips, ladies and gentlemen. Another day, another dollar. $160. There you go. Amazing. And because of this, ladies and gentlemen, you get access to the Alpha FX community for £199 if you look in the YouTube chat. This offer is valid for 10 minutes. This offer is valid for 10 minutes, and now we're running at 200 pips profit. Boom. Did you guys make some money? Making, very nice. This is how you can turn a losing position into profit. When you look at the data, you immediately interpret the result and you start trading. Amazing. And I highly recommend, well, I don't recommend, but you know, it's time to take some profits. 100 pips is always a good place. Champion Drive is asking, when can I add another position? Anytime you want, brother. I'm not gonna give, you know, instructions or anything on YouTube. You can have a look at my live trade. If you want to get access to my trades, if you want to trade with me, let me show you. Let me show you what you get when you join the Alpha FX community. You can get a notification. You get a notification. Members get a notification on Discord. So if I enter into position, you immediately get a notification. It's your choice whether you decide to follow or not. You know, I'm not holding the gun to your head. But if you want real-time action, if you want to make some honey to get the money, then go to alphafx.eu. And the best time is now through the YouTube chat, because there's a discount link. But don't tell anyone. Okay. Wait, twice in a day, twice in a day. Don't know. I don't know. Bread the lad, where are you? Bread, we miss you. If you listen to this, we miss you. Bread, we're making bread. Break. Come to the live. If anyone knows where is bread, you know, we are looking for bread. Because we are making bread. Oh, guys, another day, another dollar. Yesterday, fuck me. Have you seen those trades? One single trade, 380 pips, total of 420 pips. I think it was, yeah, with only 2 lots. There was £4,000 with one single trade. Yeah. It can be. Contract size, leverage, there's so many things which affect the things, especially in Europe where they have only 1 to 30 leverage. Yeah. But another day, another dollar. People who are asking whether you can enter into a position, well, you have to join the Alpha FX community, unfortunately, because my day is now over. We made over 100 and 200 pips. Just to give you some tips and clues, price now pulled back to the daily pivot. the next big movement will come at New York Open. So you see that there's a bear flag right here. And what's going to happen most likely, let me delete these drawings. Yep, this is deleted. So most likely what's going to happen, price will come back within this bear flag. It's going to move up and down a little bit. And then when New Year comes, they're going to push down the price all the way to 3,700. So yeah, it's still time to enter, but I'm not going to give you any financial recommendations. If you want that, you have to go and join the Alpha FX community. But my expectation, my bias, which could happen, it doesn't mean it will happen, it could happen, that price will go and continue meltdown all the way to 3,700. Yeah, this is my target, 37 and 5. That's my target. Yeah, I mean, that's a very nice target. 17 as well, that would give us 280 pips. But my target is just above 3,700, so 37.6, 37.10. If that happens, I will if it drops to 37.10, I will take the day off tomorrow and on Monday. Yeah, please do, please do. No profanity and dirty jokes. Okay. Good day today. Goldmankind is asking, what are you teach us in the community? Mate, how to be a man, surviving skills, how to hit on women, how to pick up women, all the important skills. Do you learn us the strategy? I mean, do you teach? Yeah, I mean, every single day. That's why we got morning briefings. So let me show you. Every morning on high impact days, but from next week it's going to be minimum 3 days a week, proper morning briefing, because I was a bit lazy this summer. So the morning briefing is a live Zoom meeting where I explain market fundamentals, macroeconomics, talk about hot news, hot issues, talking about the upcoming data throughout the day, and I also give a scenario analysis. And if I enter into a trade, I do send into Discord. So we got the morning briefing on high impact days, and also I send out a full macroeconomic analysis in Discord 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning, that early. And then we have the Zoom, which is a live Zoom meeting, a morning briefing. And I explain the same things, but also the technicals. I go into more details, the nitty-gritty, because fundamentals are used to get the direction right, the bias, and I use technicals to find entries and exits. So you get morning briefing, written macroeconomic and technical analysis on Discord. You get access to my signals. Let me show you again. So this is what you get. So it's the full package. And the question everyone is asking, do I teach this? Yes, every single day. The question is how much you're going to remember and how much you're willing to write down. But ask the guys, do you guys find it useful, the morning briefings and what I teach? You see 3 people out of 2,000. There's not many communities like this out there. There's some people I know they do teach, but that costs thousands of dollars. I know the people who teach macroeconomics cost thousands of dollars. Mm. 4 years, yeah, probably. And you see, I show my losses, I show my wins. Yeah, it's not easy, not convenient, but that's the only way. Real, not just the money real, but the emotions, the pain, the suffering, the good times, the laughter, everything is real here. You won't find, I mean, these people, even though I haven't met most of them live, they are my friends for life. Ah, she's four now, isn't she? Four, no, 6. Hello, Mila. Hey, oh my God, you grow so much. Are you kidding? That's insane. She's 6 now. Oh my God, Milo is gonna be 3 years this November. Mila, Mila, I have a son whose name is Milo. Yeah. My son called Milo, and he's like this tall. And you like this tall. My son is like this tall. Only 3 years old. And by the way, yep. Bye. Tschüss. Wiedersehen. Good little girl. And by the way, we're still running at 200 pips profit. Yeah, guys, what can I say? If you want, you can ask any member of the AlphaFX community. You can go to TripAdvisor to read the reviews. TripAdvisor is something that, it's not I write the reviews. You can ask anyone. I can open up the Telegram channel. You can ask any questions until some scammers come into the group on Discord. But ask everyone, and they're all going to say mostly the same. 90%, I guarantee. It's a good community. We win together, we lose together. But I'm going to call it a day now. My job is done. And yeah, see you all tomorrow morning for a briefing. Bye. Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Überraschung. Yep. Look at that. 200 pips. As easy as it is. So yeah, I do send out my personal signals into Discord, and we do have live Zoom meetings, live trading. Everything is live. And Brett is back. Very nice. So if you want to join, check out the link in the YouTube chat. It's a discount link, valid for 3 minutes. And I will close it down. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day. This is the AlphaFX.